Grown Man Business TV. You feel what I'm saying? Now listen, man. You can tap in and you can tap out. But you know my slogan. You know what I suggest. And I suggest you tap in. So let's get right into it. Now you already know. Time, energy, the highest forms of currency, my G's. I know they got y'all here chasing the bag, chasing that money, chasing that paper, stacking that cheese, that cheddar, and that mozzarella. But always keep it in the front of your mental Rolodex. That time and energy are the highest forms of currency, my G's, at all times. Is what it is, and it'll be what it's gonna be. Now, big salute to all my day one investors, everybody that's highly invested in the channel, everybody that understands that we are growing this channel organically, constant elevation. Yeah, we on our way to the top, well over 50,000 subscribers, and we on our way to 60K. All right, even bigger salute to all my newcomers, all my new subscribers, all my new investors, everybody that's making their way to the Realest channel on YouTube. Yours truly, Grown Man Business TV, is what it is, and it'll be what it's gonna be. Now, do me a favor, man. Wipe off your feet before you step into the big house. You understand me? Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Make sure your notification bells are ringing loud and clear every time you step foot in the Realest channel on YouTube. Yours truly, Grown Man Business TV, is what it is, and it'll be what it's gonna be. You know how I'm giving it up, and you absolutely know how I'm putting it down, my G's, all right? Now, listen, man. I got a lot of people in the DM. Yo, Big G and BTV, what's your perspective on everything that's going on between Candice Owens and Pier Morgan? I mean, Big G and BTV, what's your thought process on everything that went down between Candice Owens and Pier Morgan? And I got to say, man, it is absolutely nasty work. You understand me? It's nasty work that not more YouTubers and content creators are talking about this exchange right here. All right, now Candice Owens, you know, a lot of people ain't feeling her. A lot of people, especially in the urban community, they like to look past Candice Owens due to her, you know, her opinions on certain situations. But I gotta say something. One thing for sure, and two things for certain. Candice Owens is talking that talk. Now, I don't know if it's the whole, you know, Charlie Kirk situation. I'm not sure. But one thing for sure, and again, two things for certain. Candice Owens is not holding back. She is not using a filter. She is not sugarcoating the content, and she is not sugarcoating or stepping on the message. And I gotta say, man, you know, everybody need to understand that when you talk like this, especially on a big stage, yeah, you got a target on your back. I'm surprised they ain't touched Candice already, but we gonna get into that. Yeah, yeah. Candice Owens cooked Pier Morgan when it comes to this whole situation in Iran, when it comes to everything that's going on with the U.S. government in Israel and X, Y, and Z. So I got to give a big salute to Candice Owens for cooking with that fish grease. I mean, she was in there with that hot fish grease going to work, and we going to talk about that. But it is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. They're going to try to shadow ban the channels. They're going to try to muffle the message. And when you got somebody speaking truth to power, you gotta salute that. If you liked it or if you don't. If you respect it or if you don't. You understand? We not gonna agree on everything. But when you got somebody putting that truth into the atmosphere, yeah, we got to stand on business and we got to salute that. So we going to talk about Candice Owens, Pier Morgan, and this whole situation in Iran. I mean, it's a war going on outside. No man is safe from. You can run, but you can't hide forever. And we are at a point in American history where you can't hide anymore. There is no hiding, my G. It is right in front of your face. It is happening right now in real timing, okay? So you already know, man, before we go any deeper with this situation, before I give you this pure dope straight off the brick directly into the bottles, before we do that, I got to do some customizations to the chat. Yeah, the higher-ups and the elites are playing chess at the highest levels, my G's. Listen, the higher-ups and the elites are always trying to muffle the message, trying to shadow ban the channel. The higher-ups and the elites understand that Grown Man Business TV is an absolute threat to the establishment. Not only am I a threat to the establishment, but the revolution will be televised right here in these YouTube streets. Yeah, is what it is, and it'll be what it's gonna be. Candice Owens. Oh yeah, listen, man. If you ain't known, I'm gonna put you on game. When Candice Owens goes live, it's about 100 to 150,000 people at one time in her live stream. Yeah, we gonna talk about this. Big salute to the chat. We gonna work, man. We gonna have a quick conversation tonight. We gonna stand on business. It's a lot going on outside that need to be talked about. And I ain't gonna, I understand baiting the algorithm because we gonna bait the algorithm. But I didn't wanna, we gonna talk directly to what's going on. This whole situation in Iran is nasty work. Yeah, big salute to the chat, man. Well over 100 in here. Make sure y'all do what y'all supposed to do. Candice Owens, big salute to Candice Owens. And I'm going to tell you something. We're going to talk about this. I understand that she's married to the dog fur. But again, I ain't got to agree with everything you do. Yeah, she's married to the dog fur. Her husband is a Neanderthal from the Caucasus of the mountains. All right? So I just wanted to throw that out there because I don't gotta agree with every move that you make. But when you speak truth to power, I gotta salute that. All right. So everybody in the DM, yo, GMB TV, her husband is a humanoid caucasoid Neanderthal with the dog fur. I want to let you know I already know that. Yeah, I don't like that, Candice. Okay, we're going to talk more about that as well. Candice Owens, we're going to talk about that. All right? Now, listen, you see that right there at the bottom of the chat. You see that right there at the bottom of the... Listen, before you get in here with your Twitter fingers, using your Twitter fingers to do what the Twitter fingers like to do, all in the comment section, Twittering with your Twitter fingers. Yeah, Twittering all up and down the comment section, using your Twitter fingers. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and make sure your notification bells are ringing loud and clear every time you step foot in the Realest channel on YouTube. Yours truly, Grown Man Business TV, is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. You know how I'm giving it up, and you absolutely know how I'm putting it down, my G's, all right? Now, let's talk about this. Candice Owens, Pier Morgan. Now, one thing for sure, two things for certain. Like I said, it's a lot of people in the DM. They're not feeling Candice Owens. They don't agree with Candice Owens. And I understand that because there are a lot of things that I don't agree with when it comes to Candice Owens. But I'm going to tell you something. Ever since they went ahead and laid Charlie Kirk to rest, ever since they sent Charlie Kirk to the upper room, Candice Owens has been on one. I ain't gonna lie to you. Now, again, her husband got the dog fur. Charlie Kirk was one of her best friends. He had the dog fur. And there was something about that dog fur getting sent to the upper room in broad daylight. It hit a switch in Candice. She been on one ever since. She ain't been holding back. She ain't been sugarcoating the content. She ain't been making excuses. She been absolutely exposing the higher-ups and the elites. And I ain't gonna lie to you. It's scary. It is absolutely scary how she been attacking the algorithm, how she been attacking the establishment. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm surprised her husband ain't set her down and told her no more. I'm surprised that dog fur ain't set her down and told her no more. You done enough. You said too much. But obviously, her husband ain't intervening. In her live streams, again, 100, 120 to 150,000 people in the live stream at one time. Absolutely amazing. I mean, I'm gonna tell you something. Yeah, I get tired when she get to talking. I can't stay, but I look at the numbers and I say, yeah, she on to something. Okay, now we want to talk about this because there is nobody else on her level exposing the higher ups and the elites. There is nobody on Candice Owens' level that is speaking truth to power, fearlessly. You understand? Unapologetically. Everybody else is sugarcoating the content, and everybody else is trying to, they tap dancing right now. They walking on eggshells. It's a war going on outside. And I always pay attention to what they doing up there. And I see patterns. And it's a pattern when it comes to Pier Morgan. All right. When you are affecting the bottom line, when you are exposing too much truth, when you are absolutely going against the establishment, they send Pierre Morgan in to discredit you. They send Pierre Morgan in to bring you on a CNN or a Fox News. And if you ain't witty enough, if you ain't sharp enough to go head to head with Pierre Morgan, then he discredits your message. He will find chinks in your armor and expose it to the masses. And we already know about sheeple. So the majority of the people are sheep. So if Pierre Morgan is able to discredit you, make you look like an imbecile, if he's able to do that, then the masses, they lose faith. They don't believe what you're saying. You become a conspiracy theorist. But if you can go up there on the Pierre Morgan show and you can smoke his boots like Candice Owens, oh, it make you an absolute, oh yeah, you become a threat to the establishment. Yeah, it's a big target on Candace Owens' back. And the way she cooked Pierre Morgan is worth, listen, it's worth having a conversation about. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it is worth having a conversation about the way Candace Owens smoked Pierre Morgan. Threw his ass up. Yeah, she put that batter on him and threw his ass in that fish grease. Cooked him up. Yeah, she cooked that dog fur up real nice. Okay? And it wouldn't be respectful to this black woman if we didn't have a conversation. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it. She's still a black woman. Even though her husband got the dog fur, she is still as black as couldn't be. Okay, so again, I know her husband got the dog. I don't like it, Candice. I don't like the fact you getting on your knees for that dog fur, but it is what it is. I'm gonna tell you something before we get into these receipts, because you already know I don't go nowhere without the receipts. I don't step out the house without the receipts. Before we get into these receipts, I need you to understand something. If Candace Owen wasn't married to the dog fur, if her husband didn't have a head full of that dog fur, if her husband was not from the Caucasus of the mountains, they would have already Martin Luther King this. Yeah, she would have been out of here. Yeah, they would have did her like Martin Luther King Jr. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they would have Charlie Kirk. Yeah, she would have went out like Charlie. Yeah, absolutely, broad day. Okay, so the universe works in mysterious ways. Such a powerful black woman. I mean, she's powerful. I ain't gonna lie. The only way she's still able to breathe in this consciousness is because her husband got that dog fur. Yeah, so a lot of us, again, we don't like the fact that she's married to a white man, but I'm telling you, that's the protection that she needs. Yeah, as a black community, we don't really know how to protect our people that speak truth to power. So I'm gonna elaborate on that a little bit more, but again, for everybody in the she got the dog. Yeah, I already know, and I don't like it. I don't like it, just like you don't like it. I don't like to see a strong, black, powerful woman like this laying down for that Pink Peter. Yeah, she laid down for that Pink Johnson, that Pink Peter, that little pink thing. I don't. Is what it is, and it'll be what it's gonna be. Big salute to the chat. This is gonna be one of those situations. So I want you to understand, and to all my wrenches, Dresky, I see you in here, Charlie P, Mr. Universe, all my wrenches. We not playing no games tonight. They play, they go. Okay? Yeah, we're going to talk about that as well. I see a lot of y'all in the DM. Salute to y'all. I'm here to tell you, if they shoot, you out of here. Y'all in the DM, I don't even know how to bring you back. I'm not that computer savvy. Yeah, I don't know how to bring you back from the upper room. Okay? So for all the children, before we get into this, take your ass upstairs now. Okay? Y'all share them toys upstairs. Don't you bring your ass back downstairs. while grown folks is talking, okay? And keep the noise down. Because if I come up there, I'm taking the belt off, okay? Belt the ass, that's the only thing that's gonna happen if I gotta come up there and check on y'all. So for all the youngsters, I'm giving y'all a chance to go upstairs. You got the Sega Genesis, the Nintendo, the Super Nintendo, the basketball hoop on the door. Y'all share, okay? Because if my people get the blazing at you, I don't even know how to bring you back. You're out of here. And if I got to take my belt off, you already know the outcome. All right? Big salute to the chat. Big salute to Candice Owens. You know, it's a dirty game they playing right now. It's a dirty game they playing, taking America to war. Taking America to war as if we didn't vote for this. We didn't choose this. We didn't ask for our tax dollars to be used in this. It's a dirty game. All right, big salute to the chat. Let's get into this first receipt. Let's let Candice get with that fish grease. Oh yeah, she's married to a dog fur having Caucasoid from the Caucasus of the mountains, but she's a black woman that know how to use that fish grease. Go ahead and talk to the people, Candice. Look.
America wants a regime change in Iran is because Bibi Netanyahu is demanding it. And we also are completely done with the idea that, with this decades-long idea that we're doing it to spread democracy because we believe in international liberalism. There was no imminent threat to the United States when Trump made this decision to do what Bibi wanted. And I want to be clear here. This was not Trump's decision. It was Bibi Netanyahu's decision. And that is the reason that he did it. And we're very aware that Israel is dictating our foreign policy, and we would now like that to stop.
Okay, but you wouldn't disagree, presumably, that Iran has been the main sponsor of terrorism in the Middle East through the Houthis, through Hezbollah, through Hamas. I mean, that's widely accepted and recognized. They've done
if things widely accepted. No, that's just kind of
really.
Israel has been a terrorist state. Okay, Israel right now is imparting a genocide and a Holocaust on the Gazan people. So I'm really over this idea like somehow Israel has the moral high ground and we have to get behind them.
I didn't say that.
We've got to go after the bad guys. So it's rich to me that people are concerned about Iran having nukes. But I'm concerned about Israel, who won't even admit that they have nukes, having nukes, while at the same time they are executing a genocide and a Holocaust in Gaza that the world is watching. So who's the bigger terrorist is the question.
But when the leader of Iran says death to America, why doesn't that concern you?
Why are they chanting death to America? Maybe it has something to do with just like killing 1 million Iraqi civilians, because Bibi Netanyahu on a congressional stage and said there are weapons of mass destruction, and we took that to the bank and there actually were no weapons of mass destruction, so we just killed 1 million. It could have something, I could be crazy, it could have something to do with our actions in the Middle East. We know that Bibi Netanyahu funded the Al-Qaeda adjacent front because he wanted to overthrow Syria. Bibi Netanyahu funded Hamas. There's footage of Bibi Netanyahu saying this stuff on camera. So it's just so ridiculous to me to pretend that they're in some predicament, that they may be eradicated soon, which is why they have to keep funding all of these terrorist groups and then pretending that they're victims of terror, when in fact they are people that are imparting it worldwide. And again, these never-ending wars in the Middle East at the behest of Israel. Bibi Netanyahu was the one that called for Americans to invade Iraq, Libya, Syria, Afghanistan, and now Iran, and we've done it. And we're done with the BS of, they weren't really involved, Israel, in Afghanistan, because even when we fight those never-ending wars, Israel wins. Everybody knows that our boys were out there in Afghanistan guarding poppy fields, okay? And do you know what happened after we allegedly, quote unquote, lost in Afghanistan? What happened to all those poppy fields, those poppy flowers that our military was guarding? Well, the opioid crisis hit America via the Sackler family, who quite literally built the School of Medicine at Tel Aviv University. So we're just done, okay? And there's no way that we're going to go backwards. We're not going to allow you guys to emotionally condition us to go, we got to protect Israel because of the Holocaust. It is over. They're imparting a Holocaust. America would like off this crazy train.
Candice is right.
Whew. Now listen here now. We're going to go back over this receipt, but she said so much in this particular receipt right here that it was just, I ain't going to lie, man. It was breathtaking, right? And it was so refreshing to hear. Now, I want to dissect this, and we're gonna definitely go back and run it back. But I want to point out something that she did that nobody else does. And I'm talking nobody. I mean, all the way to like Cat Williams, right? We all give Cat Williams this certain amount of respect and love because he talks, but Cat Williams only talks about, black people. Cat Williams, she said names. She said, we were out there in Afghanistan protecting poppy fields. So our taxpayer, we was in Afghanistan, and behind closed doors, we was taking over them poppy fields with them opioids. And she said the Sheckler family, you understand what I'm saying, is the reason them opioids made them way all the way to the United States of America. And again, I want to play this again so we can all hear it. But the fact that she said that name is something that makes her, in a league of her own, my G. She is in a league of her own because everybody talks about these things, and I'm talking about people on those levels, people that know, like Cat Williams and whoever else, these celebrities, they know the actual names of these people and these families that are making the real moves. The Rothschilds, we say things like that, and X, Y, and Z. But there are so many other people in the industry, in the government, these billionaire, millionaire people these puppets, these celebrities know these people. People in this that's rubbing shoulders, they know these names, and they'll get on these podcasts and, these media outlets, and they'll talk about other celebrities. So the fact that she said that name, and I'm going to do my due diligence on that name, but I'm going to run this receipt back. But the fact that she's saying the real names we need, the Sheckler family. Oh, opioids are coming across the border, fentanyl. And we're taking these fentanyl drug dealers down one by one. And just like the war on drugs, right? When they put crack in all this different cocaine and all these different drugs into our community, it's redundant. It has become redundant. It's over and over and over again. And that is, we're in Afghanistan. They have weapons of mass destruction. Come to find out, Afghanistan didn't have a goddamn weapon of, these motherfuckers ain't even got running water. They ain't got clean sewage. They don't have nothing that would, come up and accumulate to weapons of mass destruction. So when we went in there for oil and for control and them poppy fields they forgot to tell us about. Yeah, we was in there. We had U.S. soldiers protecting and guarding poppy fields. Now I'm gonna run this play back, but it got to a point where she was cooking so good with that fish grease, Pier Morgan closed his mouth. And if you know, like I know, when Pier Morgan closes his mouth, yeah, it ain't nothing but truth being told. And I want to break down again. We're gonna break this down because in the beginning of this receipt, right? She's starting to cook, and just like the dog fur, and respectfully, I'm not trying to upset you, but when you get to telling the truth and you get to exposing certain things, people are going to start cutting you off. Well, they'll listen to everything you say, and then they'll say, well, what about this? Well, let's not get to what about that. Let's answer these questions right here. Let's address this truth right here, and then we'll get to that. But always notice, what about this? The motherfucker just said a whole bunch of truth, and you ain't addressed none of that. Well, what about when they said death to America? We are at a point where, it is so obvious. It is not 1991, my G. It is not 1999. Death to America. Why are they even saying that? You think they just woke up one morning and said death to America? No, we've been bombing shit. We've been stealing. We've been over there pillaging their land, taking shit, just straight disrespecting everything about what they got going on over there. All the way to the point where now they're saying death to America. And it's just like a dog fur having Caucasoid. They're saying death to America. They're dangerous. the audacity of a a white man. Yeah, the audacity of white people to say who's a terrorist, who's an immigrant, and who's dangerous. Think about how crazy you got to be as a white person to be able to say who's dangerous, who's a killer, who's an immigrant, who's a terrorist. When y'all are literally like the origin, yeah, y'all are the first terrorists. Y'all are the first immigrants. Y'all are the most dangerous race of people on the face of the goddamn planet. You know, again, salute to Candice Owens, my G. I don't know. I think it was the Charlie Kirk situation. Yeah, they've been putting their knees on the necks of black men. They've been hanging black. We've been through the ringer. Candace Owens ain't really have too much of the good words and words of motivation and aspiration for us. But when they sent Charlie Kirk ass to the upper room, they unleashed the monster. Yeah. Y'all made a mistake when you sent Kirk ass up to the guy. Yeah, y'all fucked up. Go, you know what? Let's dissect this situation. This was powerful right here. Again, salute to Candace Owens, man. Salute to Candace Owens. We are in a full-fledged war right now. Oh, a regime change. What in the hell why do we care about a regime change? It don't really matter to us. Israel. Yeah. Habib. He don't want them people in office. He want a regime change over there in Afghanistan or Iran or whatever. Now we got to come over here and we got to get involved in some shit we don't want no parts of. Let's get into this. Big salute to Candace Owens. Again, we got a big salute to her. Talk to the people, Candace. Look!
America wants a regime change in Iran is because Bibi Netanyahu is demanding it. And we also are completely done with the idea that, with this decades-long idea that we're doing it to spread democracy because we believe in international liberalism. There was no imminent threat to the United States when Trump made this decision to do what Bibi wanted. And
I want to, again, we're going to dissect this. I couldn't have said it better. We were not in imminent danger of anything coming out of Iran. And the whole idea and narrative that we are spreading democracy. Again, we are in the time of exposure, the time of information. And now when you really think about this, how can you spread democracy? You mean the same way you spread Christianity? Through murder and bloodshed? Is that what y'all telling us? Oh, we were spreading democracy. They didn't ask for democracy. The same way the majority of the world didn't ask to be Christians. But you came with your situation and you forced it. So it's like, I got a lot of respect for Candace Owens because, we are you can't, so we went over there to spread democracy and they are no threat to America. Whatever they got going on in Iran is no threat to America. What do it matter if Iran has nuclear? If they had nuclear weapons, what the fuck do it matter? Israel has nuclear weapons. So Israel could have nuclear weapons, but Iran is not allowed to have nukes. Come on, my G. It's nasty. It's nasty work. We need to have a regime change in Israel. That's what we need to do. Habib ass need to get sent to the upper room with Charlie Kirk and everybody else that's up there. Talk some more, Candice. I got a lot of love for you, baby. I ain't mad at you. Talk to the people. Look!
I want to be clear here. This was not Trump's decision. It was Bibi Netanyahu's decision. And that is the reason that he did it. And we're very aware that Israel is dictating our foreign policy, and we would now like that to stop.
Okay, but you wouldn't just disagree, presumably, that Iran has been the main sponsor of terrorism in the Middle East through the Houthis, through Hezbollah, through Hamas. I mean, that's widely accepted and recognized. They've done it.
Now, again, I noticed, right? She said all of that. She said all of that. You know, we are aware that Israel is in control of our foreign policies. Israel is in control of our government, and we are sick of it, and we want out of that. She said all of that. And Pierre Morgan responds with, okay, well, you do agree. Hold on. He didn't address none of that. He just went on to imply that Iran is the biggest threat to America, X, Y, and Z. You know, again, Pierre Morgan is only a tool for the higher ups and the elites to discredit you. And I told y'all, they put these dog fur having Caucasoid men on camera. They put a suit and a tie. Oh, but you would agree that Iran, and they talk like that. And if they could get you out your square, if you ain't sharp enough, if you ain't witty enough, they can make you look like a fool on camera. They can discredit you, make you look like a conspiracy theorist. But the beautiful thing about Candice Owens is that she is very witty. Oh, Candice Owens been around that dog for a long time. She's sleeping with a white man. Yeah. So Candice Owens ain't no pushover. You ain't gonna talk that Caucasian talk and make her, that British accent don't do nothing to Candice. Yeah, that make her powerful. She is immune to that British accent. Yeah, her husband got the dog fur, just like you, Pierre. Candice Owens is dangerous. I want to make sure that y'all understand this. Candice is dangerous, my G. The establishment is not ready for a black woman to her capacity. A black woman that's married to a white man that's saying what the fuck she want to say and doing whatever she want to do. And she got the protection of that dog fur. See, again, an anomaly. You know, I'm gonna get back into this, but I want y'all to really just reevaluate when you think about Candice Owens and how the urban community views her. How most black women don't rock with her. How a lot of black men don't rock with her. And to a certain extent, you got all right not to rock with her. But again, when she talking like this, you got to put all that shit to the side, my G. Yeah, yeah, trust me, them people, oh, they having meetings about Candice right now. Yeah, they contemplating, they trying to figure out how to run a play on Candice Owens. Yeah, respectfully. Oh, but you could agree that you know what? Talk to the people. Look.
Widely accepted. Now, that's just kind of...
Really?
Israel has been a terrorist state. Okay, Israel right now is imparting a genocide and a Holocaust on the Gazan people. So I'm really over this idea like somehow Israel has the moral high ground and we have to get behind them.
I didn't say that.
We got to go out.
Now I want to say something. I see that. Oh, she's on the payroll. You in the right place. Let's look at this, right? Nobody on the payroll of the higher ups and the elites is speaking like that towards Israel. Everybody that's on the payroll, they don't even want to talk about what's going on in the Gaza Strip and the genocide that's taking place over there. They don't want to choose a side. They don't even want to talk about it because they know what Israel doing is a genocide. But if they speak against Israel, it's over for them. LeBron James, Jay's, I don't care. Name a celebrity that's saying this right here about Bibi and Israel, the Gaza Strip, the genocide, Palestine, whatever they got going on over there. So I think that it's beautiful that you said that. She's on the payroll. Well, it's obvious she's bucking the system. Even if she is on the payroll, you know, sometimes people they turn on the system. They become rebels. They become fugitives when it come to that. Runaway slaves and all of that. The shit listen, the shit she's saying about Israel right now is not something that somebody on the payroll is gonna say. No, it don't work. Like, nobody's talking about that. The way she's calling out Israel, the way she's talking about how they are controlling the American government, how we are in this war because of them. How she's speaking on against what's going on the Gaza Strip. Find somebody find somebody on this level that's doing that, and we can have a conversation. All right, talk to the people, sweetheart. I'm listening to you. Look, trust me, grown man business TV got an open ear to what you're talking about, Candice. Yeah, I'm with you. Hey, talk to the people. Look.
I know
things widely accepted. Now that's just kind of
really.
Israel has been a terrorist state. Okay, Israel right now is imparting a genocide and a Holocaust on the Gazan people. So I'm really over this idea like somehow Israel has the moral high ground and we have to get behind them.
I didn't say
because
that.
we got to go after the bad guys. So it's rich to me that people are concerned about Iran having nukes. But I'm concerned about Israel, who won't even admit that they have nukes, having nukes. While at the same time, they are executing a genocide and a Holocaust in Gaza that the world is watching. So who's the bigger terrorist is the question.
When the leader of Iran says death to America, why doesn't that concern you?
Why are they chanting death to America? Maybe it has something to do with just like killing 1 million Iraqi civilians, okay, because Bibi Netanyahu on a congressional stage and said there are weapons of mass destruction, and we took that to the bank and there actually were no weapons of mass destruction, so we just killed 1 million. It could have something, I could be crazy.
Now I want to speak to that. I want to, and I'm gonna tell you something. I love a black woman, Not I like black, right? That can engage like that with the dog fur. That shit. I love a educated, melanated, opinionated. It just is what it is, right? But I want to speak to what she just said because I came up in a generation that I remember the U.S. government bamboozling the citizens. I remember them lying to us. And again, we didn't have access to this technology. We didn't have access to, this information back in them days. So it was really easy for them to just say something or create a narrative, right? And then push a narrative. They could create a situation and make it look a certain way and then push a narrative. And that's exactly what they did with the words weapons of mass destruction. Let me tell you something, man. They had the whole America believing that Iran and Afghanistan had weapons of mass destruction. And you got to know something, right? We had never heard it in that way before. We all heard about like nuclear bombs and, the bomb, the atomic bomb that was dropped on Hiroshima. We remember that. We were raised on that. But when they introduced the term weapons of mass destruction, when we heard that shit, oh yeah, we was with any and everything that the American government wanted to do. If y'all want to run up in Afghanistan and get the bomb and shit, do it. Whatever y'all doing over there, just protect us from weapons of mass destruction. And this shit went on for years, my G. Every year they were sending money. They was paying with our tax dollars. It was a reason why this couldn't happen because we was over there looking for weapons of mass destruction, right? But even back then, without this technology, after about 2 or 3 years, I remember myself, in particular, just speaking for myself, I remember wanting to see the goddamn weapons of mass destructions that y'all was talking about. And it wasn't just me, it was the whole America. We all got to the point where we start saying, man, well, where is the weapons at that we want to see these goddamn Star Wars ships and guns and bombs in Afghanistan. We want to see what Iran, we want to see where our money is going, the taxpaying dollars Why is we paying all this money in gas? We trying to figure out what is going on. And guess what? That's when they had to come clean. There was no weapons of mass destruction. You know, again, I remember this 9/11. You know what I'm saying? George Bush. I remember the whole play that they ran on us. When them Twin Towers fell, they didn't tell us about the billions of dollars that George Bush and his family obtained. They didn't tell us the intricate details, but what they did tell us, those people was from Iran and Afghanistan, and Osama bin Laden sent them people over here to drop them goddamn towers. They went to Florida, they learned how to fly planes, and they did what they did. And now we got to go and get them weapons of mass destruction. I wouldn't give a damn what we do. We got to get the weapons of mass destruction. And we went over there as America, and we went to killing shit over there. I'm talking, you know how now mind you, you know how we do when we invade these countries and these places, bro. We go over there, we pillage, we steal, we rape, we rob, we kill. And that's what we did, bro. And then these same dog fur having Caucasoid American, these same white people will look us in the face or talk to Candice Owens and say, well, why would they be saying death to America? It's almost the equivalent if foundational black Americans were saying death to white people. They would say, why would they be saying that? Why would those people say that? As if y'all don't remember the 400 years. Why would they be saying death to America? And I just think it's so refreshing to hear a woman say exactly what it is. She didn't stutter. She didn't, sugarcoat it. She didn't look for the right words. She said exactly maybe because we went over there and slaughtered millions of innocent people, civilians. Come on, man. Like, why is this shit? Like, what is we talking about? And again, it's just refreshing to me. I ain't gonna lie to you. I love that. It's a million and one ways to skin a cat. Getting up there and arguing and getting emotional and cussing and bickering, low key, they like that because that means you're not smart enough. You don't have the intellect to have a real conversation. You're not articulate enough to deliver what you trying to say, what's really on your mind. So then you get emotional, you get upset. But Candice Owens is a genius at this. I'm talking this right here need to be studied. Whew. Yes. Yes, I'm shalaikum shalom, nigga. Yeah. Yeah. Shalaikum and shalaikum shalom, nigga. Talk to the people, Candice. Look.
Was watching. So, who's the bigger terrorist is the question.
But when the leader of Iran says death to America, why doesn't that concern you?
Why are they chanting death to America? Maybe it has something to do with just like killing 1 million Iraqi civilians, okay, because Bibi Netanyahu on a congressional stage and said there are weapons of mass destruction, and we took that to the bank, and there actually were no weapons of mass destruction, so we just killed 1 million. It could have something, I could be crazy, it could have something to do with our actions in the Middle East. We know that Bibi Netanyahu funded the al-Qaeda adjacent front because he wanted to overthrow Syria. Right. Bibi Netanyahu funded Hamas. There's footage of Bibi Netanyahu saying this stuff on camera. So it's just so ridiculous to me to pretend that they're in some predicament, that they may be eradicated soon, which is why they have to keep funding all of these terrorist groups and then pretending that they're victims of terror, when in fact they are people that are imparting it worldwide, okay? And again, these never-ending wars in the Middle East at the behest of Israel. Bibi Netanyahu is the one that called for Americans to invade Iraq, Libya, Syria, Afghanistan, and now Iran, and we've done it. And we're
Libya, Iran, like we done invaded all of these places on the word of Israel. And I want to tell y'all something, especially the Caucasoid Neanderthals. Y'all don't really know black women like that. Y'all get lucky sometime, and y'all get to lay down, and y'all get to have babies, and y'all get to marry black women, and y'all get to do what y'all want to do with them, and hit that wolf pussy, and do all that. But when you trigger or you upset a black woman, yeah, you are fucking, yeah. Yeah, you know, y'all didn't even know y'all did. When y'all sent Charlie Kirk to the upper room like that, y'all didn't even think Candice is on y'all time. And the way she talking, that's a black woman. I want to show you something real quick. I want to show you how she mad now. You're fucked up. Yeah. You thought you had her in control because one of your Caucasoid buddies was blowing her back out. Yeah, you thought you had her in control because one of your caveman buddies was knocking down her back at night. Yeah. You ain't never got that kind of control. Yeah, you ain't got it. And you fucked up when you sent that white man. I want to show y'all. Look at this. Look at Candace Owens' face right here. Oh, see, Pierre. Look at Pierre right here. You don't know. You got that look on your face. You got that look, Pierre. Now look at Candice. She mad at your ass. She talking crazy. Look.
Wanted to overthrow Syria. Bibi Netanyahu funded Hamas. There is footage of Bibi Netanyahu saying this stuff on camera.
Look how she talking to that nigga. Look.
So it's just so ridiculous to me to pretend that they're in some predicament, that they may be eradicated soon, which is why they have to keep saying this stuff on camera. So it's just so ridiculous to me to pretend that they're in some predicament, that they may be eradicated soon, which is why they...
Look at how she talking to, look at her mouth right here. Yes. Yeah. That's the part y'all didn't know about. Oh, y'all underestimated. Y'all unleashed the black side of Candace Owens. She on your ass. Oh, y'all fucked up when y'all sent Charlie Kirk to the upper room. When y'all did what y'all did to Charlie Kirk, and ain't no bringing him back. Yeah, the only thing you can do is go into the graveyard, get Charlie Kirk, and bring his ass back to life, and then y'all might stand a chance. Y'all might stand a chance. Anything other than that, you fucked up. Look. You think you gonna be able to get? Yes, you ain't gonna. You fucked up. Go ahead and talk to him, Candice.
They have to keep funding all of these terrorist groups and then pretending that they're victims of terror, when in fact they are people that are imparting it worldwide. Okay? And again, these never-ending wars in the Middle East at the behest of Israel. Bibi Netanyahu is the one that called for Americans to invade Iraq, Libya, Syria, Afghanistan, and now Iran, and we've done it. And we're done with the BS of, okay, well, they weren't really involved, Israel in Afghanistan, because even when we fight those never-ending wars, Israel wins. Everybody knows that our boys were out there in Afghanistan guarding poppy fields, okay? And do you know what happened after we allegedly, quote unquote, lost in Afghanistan? What happened to all those poppy fields, those poppy flowers that our military was guarding? Well, the opioid crisis hit America via the Sackler family,
The Sackler family. Again, yeah, this where it get deep at. The opioid crisis that popped up. After we got ran out of Afghanistan, one thing the U.S. government is going to do is some criminal activity. Yeah, the war in Nicaragua. They needed money to fund the war in Nicaragua. Yeah. And they put that goddamn crack in our neighborhoods, and they funded that war in Nicaragua like none other. Oh, yeah, they funded that war real good. And when we was over there looking for weapons of mass destruction in Afghanistan, somehow, some way, we stumbled across them poppy fields. Oh, yeah. and the weapons of mass destruction didn't seem that important anymore. We got soldiers guard. So you telling me you got U.S. military soldiers guarding poppy fields? See again, and Pierre Morgan got the same look on his face. Yes, he had a point now. He's saying, "Bitch, I didn't think you was. Bitch, you ain't supposed to say all that. Bitch, I told you to come up. We done brought you up here. Bitch, I goddamn bitch. I want you. Sackler, who is the? They don't. Pierre Morgan looking like don't say nothing. Why is it? Yeah, the Sackler family. That's where it get real at, because again, when truth tellers start saying those names, and I'm gonna tell you something, if I'm not on that level, I haven't been exposed to those things like Candice. But if I knew those names, I would definitely say those names. You know what I'm saying? Instead of saying T.I. or 50 Cent or Jay-Z and Beyonce and Cat Williams and Shannon Sharp and blah, blah, blah. Those names are the ones that's important. Imagine knowing names like a Sheckler, right? The Sheckler family. And then come to find out one of your nieces or one of your nephews go to a private school with one of their family members. Imagine if we really knew the intricate details of these people. You fuck around and be sitting next to one in college and they be sitting right next to you and you don't even know it. Big salute to the chat. I'm gonna let Candice finish, man, and we gonna get into it. Go ahead and talk to him, Candice. Look!
Literally built the School of Medicine at Tel Aviv University. So we're just done, okay? And there's no way that we're going to go backwards. We're not going to allow you guys to emotionally condition us to go, oh, well, we got to protect Israel because of the Holocaust. It is over. They're imparting a Holocaust. America would like off this crazy train.
Candice is right.
And she again, she couldn't have said it no better, man. Why is we still so we supposed to forget about slavery? We supposed to forget about redlining, eminent domain. We supposed to forget about Jim Crow. We supposed to forget about all of these different constructs and racial discrimination when it comes to foundational Black Americans. But we got to talk about and we got to fund the goddamn Holocaust still to this day. Some shit that didn't even happen on American soil. Why are we concerned about that? Why are we paying for that? We ain't paying for things that happen on American soil, but we are funding every year, paying reparations to people that were involved in the Holocaust. And no disrespect to what y'all went through, but that ain't got nothing to do. Ain't that want that like Germany or some shit? Y'all was over in Germany or somewhere over there. Y'all was over there. Y'all need to take that up with them people over there that let that happen to you. Why is we paying reparations for some shit that didn't even happen over here? But when it's time for foundational Black Americans to be compensated, oh, we don't have enough money for that. There's no way we'll be able to put that in the budget. It's just too much. Did y'all know that we pay reparations to the Holocaust? Did y'all know that? You pay reparations to them people. Did you know that those people, a part of their reparation package is that when they turn a certain age, they are able to have first class flights to wherever we pay for it. When you turn 18 and you say Mazel Tov, right? Then you could get a family trip over there where you could learn about your history, where they was putting your ass in gas chambers and all of that. And we pay a certain amount of tax dollars to that every year. We pay reparations to them people for some shit that didn't even happen over here. Yet they're like, nobody's fed up about that. And these dog fur these people look us right in the face and tell us bullshit. Oh, we don't have any money for that. Reparations. Why would you receive reparations? You want to know if your people or your friends are racist? Bring up reparations. Yeah, you got Asian homies, Mexican homies, white homies, whatever kind of homies you got. When y'all sitting around the campfire, y'all having a conversation, you the only Black person in the group, right? Take the initiative and ask your people, what do you guys think about reparations? Yeah, I was just curious. We're making s'mores and we're all around the campfire. What are your thoughts on reparations? Everybody going to tell you we shouldn't get it. Asian motherfucker, the white motherfucker, they all going to tell us, oh, I don't think you guys should. I don't think you guys should get reparations. Why would we pay for reparations? We didn't have anything to do with that. Why would we pay reparations and we had nothing to do with it? Well, we didn't have nothing to do with the goddamn Holocaust neither. Yeah, we didn't have nothing to do with the Holocaust, but y'all paying that shit like it's nothing, like it's water. Every goddamn year, billions of dollars. You want to know if your friends you want to know if they racist or not? Ask them about reparations. I'm telling you, I've done it before. Yeah, I did it before around people I thought I was, and they all made. Oh, listen, GMB respectfully, I don't think you guys deserve. You guys are going to do nothing but spend it. It don't matter what we going to spend the money on. It's all goddamn money. You guys are going to spend the money up and it's going to be gone. It's going to be spent. You got what? Reparations. So we're supposed to pay reparation. We didn't have anything to do with that, Grown Man Business TV. We didn't have anything to do with that. They'll make every excuse in the world for us not to get reparations. But these people and Candice is saying this shit like, you don't know nobody on this level talking this gangster right now. When y'all sent Charlie Kirk up to the upper room, you fucked up. Yeah. Yeah, you hit a switch in Candice when you did that. Okay? Big salute to Candice Owens, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. Anytime I see her live, I tap in. You know what I'm saying? If I'm scrolling through the algorithm and I see that Candice Owens is live on her channel, I don't care what she's talking about. I'ma get in there. I don't really get in the chat and I'm not subscribed, so I just sit back and I listen. Because I know she's in her bag right now. Ever since they smoked Charlie Kirk, she been in her bag when it comes to the establishment, when it comes to the higher ups and the elites. And I got a lot of respect for that black woman. Now again, she is married to the dog fur. I don't respect that. But again, we not gonna agree on everything. The fact that she's laying down to the dog fur, the more she talks, I realize that there is a grand scheme of things. There's a bigger picture, you know what I'm saying? And her being married to that white man is actually her protection right now. Because if she was married to anything other than that dog fur, we'll be seeing, yeah, she'll be where she'll be out of here. The same thing they did to Charlie Kirk is what they'll do to her. All right, so I wanted to put that out there. Big salute to the chat. We not staying up late tonight. Nothing crazy. Quick hour of power. Big salute to Candice Owens, man. Stay on their neck. Keep a foot on their neck. Don't hit the brake pedal. Don't do nothing. Mash the gas. Mash the gas. I seen something earlier. I'm gonna get up out of here, but I want to show y'all something, man. And I kind of I'm gonna close with this. All right, big salute to the chat. Appreciate that 100 likes, man. Y'all, it's something about that like button. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I tell people YouTube is a different animal. It's not Instagram. It's not Facebook. You really gotta be providing something that the people are missing for them to even just hit the like button, let alone subscribe to your channel. They motherfucker won't even hit the like button. It might be 400 people in this motherfucker. I'll be checking the likes. I'm saying, damn, y'all ain't hitting the like. Like, you know what I'm saying? But again, once we get them likes, I appreciate it. And I know we delivering. I want y'all to look at this receipt right here. And we're going to kind of break this down because she spoke about Zionists. Now, matter of fact, let me run this receipt right here. And then we'll go to this last receipt because I need this receipt right here to segue into this next receipt. So let's pay attention. Look.
If you're going to call Iranians terrorists, if they right now had an open concentration camp where they were mass killing their own people, we would all be saying this is ridiculous. So it's rich to me that people are concerned about Iran having nukes. What I'm concerned about Israel, who won't even admit that they have nukes, having nukes, while at the same time they are executing a genocide and a Holocaust in Gaza that the world is watching. So who's the bigger terrorist is the question today. I would say, as an American, that if we're going to get behind a regime change, it should be in Israel first. So that would be my position. I think the position of a lot of people who are waking up to the fact that Zionism has brought us nothing but grief in America. Can you name one positive thing that Zionists have contributed to America? That us fighting these perpetual wars on behalf of Zionism has contributed to America?
But can you also recognize that Israel, placed where it is, as a tiny thumbprint in the middle of a region where
it's relevant?
Zionists in America. Zionists. We are serving, we are fueling, we are paying Zionists, bro. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, this receipt right here is just going to segue me into this last receipt. But, you know, it get deep, it get wicked, and it's always deeper than rap. And again, these Epstein files have been released. You know, you got a lot going on right now, and we go to war. We got the Epstein files floating around. We got the Epstein files is creating conversation. And now that y'all have kind of tried to expose the couple of polka dots of black people that's probably in the Epstein files, now after we get Jay-Z out the way and whoever else, after we get them out the way, now we about to get to looking at y'all. Now we at war. It's nasty work, man. It's disgusting. You know what I'm saying? And even with Trump, it's like, bruh, disgusting, bruh. It's sickening. Okay? But I wanted to run that receipt because, you know, it's levels to this. It's levels to this. And when I saw this receipt right here, big salute to everybody in the DM that send receipts and send things that y'all feel I would be interested in. I knew that I was gonna keep this one because I want to keep this one, and I'm not gonna lose this one because it's a powerful receipt, and it is a ladder, bro. You know, Zionists, you know, the Vatican, right? Freemasonry, like the royal families, and then it all is attached to, yeah. That's why I always talk about scratching the surface. You know, them people over there, them Jewish people over there. It's like they were kicked out of so many countries. Nobody, once any and everybody figured out what they was on, the shit is so diabolical, they started exterminating their ass and terminating their ass. These same people that we go into war for, these same people that we pay our tax-paying dollars to, these same people that got all of our government officials on camera doing some wild activity on that island, these same people couldn't find a place to settle because anywhere, anytime somebody opened the door and allowed them in no time, they started seeing the activities, the homosexuality, you know what I'm saying? The tell lie vision. And they started exterminating their ass and getting them up out of there. These is the people that's in control of our government. I want to look at this receipt. I want, you know, we're going to break this down. I want to just give y'all just some context when I say the higher ups and the elites, the ladder, right? It's like Meek Mill said, it's levels to this. Big salute to the chat. Look!
Oh hell, this is creepy. What do you think of this video, huh? Down to them, down to them, down to them, down to them. Us. Creepy as hell. Oh hell, this is creepy. What do you think of this video, huh? Down to them, down to them, down to them, down to them. Us. Creepy as hell. Oh hell, this is creepy. What do you think of this video, huh? Down to them, down to them, down to them, down.
Now, I want y'all to look at this. You got Baal, right? That's that right there. I want y'all to look at this. We're gonna get back into this. You know, I'm gonna pull this back up. But you got Baal at the top of this ladder, right? You got that false god that, you know, when these actors and these celebrities, when they get on the Grammy stage and the Oscar stage and they grab that trophy and they say, I want to thank God. I want to thank God for this award tonight. We automatically think that they talking about, you know, the God that you worship, whoever that is. Not understanding they're talking about Baal. I think that's like a big ass bull or something like that. You know, in that good book, because we're going to get biblical, that good book talks about this deity right here. You know, when Joshua was finished going to war in the land of paradise and conquering land, and he died, then the Israelites and the tribes, the 12 tribes, they got back to worshiping Baal, and that's when they party, and it's a whole bunch of fucking, and it's a whole bunch of drugs, and it's a whole bunch of nonsense going on. Remind you of the time we living in right now, right? The time we living in right now. Remind you of what goes on when he's at the realm of things. Now let's get back into this receipt. Let's get a little bit deeper into this. Look, you got Baal. Then you got the royal families, the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, etc. You got the royal families that's right under Baal. Then you got the Zionists, the Vatican, Freemasonry, right? The Zionists, the Vatican, and the Freemasons. You know, the Illuminati, right? Then you got the world leaders. Oh, now you got Habibi, you got Donald Trump, etc. And then you got the actors, singers, sports stars, and the media. So we got the world leaders right now that we all talking about. Donald Trump, BB, and all of them boys out there doing the work for the Zionists, the Vatican, and the Freemasons. Understanding that. We understand that the Rothschilds and the royal families and the Rockefellers and, you know, the 13 royal families, we understand that they running up. But what nobody talks about is the God that they pray to and the God that they worship. This is why I believe the downloads push me into a biblical form with y'all. You know, out of nowhere, if you notice, you know, I could be talking about whatever we having dialogue about, and then I get biblical. And I can't help but to get biblical because that is the shield. That is the umbrella. That is what's going to keep you dry when it rains. That's that part right there. And see, I saw that in the chat, a big salute. I don't want to get off track, but I'm not telling anybody to trust Candice. You know, I'm not telling anybody to like Candice, but what you got to understand is a lot of the times you could be running with a gang, right? Or your team, and then they will portray you. They will stab you in the back. They will go and do something that you never thought would happen because they were on your side. And then you realize they not on your side. And it happens all the time where a person could be in the gang his whole life, and then he go to jail, and those gang members start sleeping with his wife or sleeping with his baby mama. And then he realized these niggas was never down with him. And yeah, I ain't telling you to trust him, but he will turn on his own gang and he will go in that interrogation room and he will spill the beans when he realizes that everything he thought it wasn't. And all I'm saying is that's what happened to Candace Owens. I ain't saying to trust Candace. Yeah, she does lay down with the dog fur. She does get on her knees for that little pink thing that them dogs be having. So I don't trust her neither. Yeah, any black woman like Candace Owens that'll get on her knees and let that little pink thing go in her mouth, I wouldn't trust her. Any black woman I just can't trust it. But when they smoked Charlie Kirk like that, a white man that was doing he was doing the work of the higher ups and the elites. Charlie Kirk was getting on camera and demolishing and disrespecting black people, black men, and black culture. Charlie Kirk last words was about to disrespect black men. Yeah, the man asked him about some wild shit, had nothing to do with niggas, and his last words was about to be some disrespectful shit towards foundational black Americans. Charlie Kirk was doing exactly what them people wanted him to do. So Candace thought. Candace thought that he was doing exactly what he was needing to do, and he still got smoked. And because they smoked Charlie Kirk, Candace has now turned her back on them people. Is she trustworthy? I wouldn't trust her. But is she exposing them people? Goddamn right she exposing them. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm talking on the highest level. Yeah, the highest level of dialogue. She didn't stutter one time when she said that. She didn't backbite. She didn't stutter. She didn't speak under her breath. She said that shit loud and clear. What's bigger than Candace is this list right here. This formation, this ladder, bow. The royal families, the Vatican, the Zionists, the Freemasons, the Illuminati. A lot of people, I realize, they don't even look above that. You know, they don't look above the Zionists, the Vatican, and the Freemasons. A lot of people that I'm realizing, they connect the Illuminati to Freemasonry. And the majority of people think that the Illuminati is the end-all be-all, and they are puppets. They are fucking puppets. The Zionists are puppets. The Vatican, the world leaders, they are puppets just like the actors, the rappers, the ball players, media outlets. Puppets. Again, look at this. Look. Look.
Down to them. Us. Creepy as hell. Oh, hell, this is creepy. What do you think of this video, huh? Down to them, down to them, down to them, down to them.
Now, again, you see the formation, right? Baal is at the top. That is the deity that people serve when they are not serving Mother Nature or the Most High or the universe, Jesus Christ, whatever you want to call it, Yoshua, whatever you want to title it. When you are not aware when you are not tapping into that energy, if you know it or not, if you are oblivious or not, you are tapping into this energy. And again, this is why the downloads begin and to tell me to get biblical and to lead me into biblical ways with this shit, because Cardi B, Glorilla, Megan Thee Stallion, you know, Lil Durk, King Von, you know, all of these puppets, they're either gonna subtly lead you to this side or they're gonna listen. Either way, if you are not tapping into that universe, into the mother nature, into the most high, whatever you want to call it, then you are subconsciously and oblivious. You are tapping into this. And no matter how many wars we go into, no matter how many times we expose the higher ups and the elites, no matter what happens, the only way to be protected is to know the most high, to know the universe, to know the Christ in you, the Jesus, the Christ in you, to know your chakras and to know these things and to be in tune with these things. However, you individually, your individuality, however it is led to this. I'm not here to tell you who to pray to. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to tell you that get quiet, listen, and tap into that. That is the only umbrella. That is the only shield. Because anything other than that is this. Anything other than that is this. The Vatican, the royal families. Bow. Bow. I don't speak proper English. Yeah, I don't speak proper English. I wouldn't give a goddamn. It is what it is. It'll be what it's gonna be. Big salute to the chat. Big salute to you know, the sub who sent me that joint. I thought that was fire. I'm not, you know, I'm gonna hold on to that. You know what I'm saying? It really it just really downloaded and made some things, you know, because again, this matrix is a construct. You think this shit wasn't put together a certain way? You know, in all actuality, right? We have everything we need in Mother Nature. Everything we need in Mother Nature. Bro, when you really just look through the smoke and mirrors and you kind of just look into Mother Nature with an open eye, with an open mind, right? What you'll realize is everything that we create is a copy of something in Mother Nature. Let me give you some context. Let me give you some examples, right? Submarines. A submarine is just a sperm whale. It's just a mechanical sperm whale. That's what a submarine is. You know, people looked at how sperm whales can maneuver and live and you know, move around in the water, and they duplicated that. You know what I'm saying? A helicopter is nothing more than a firefly. You know, people looked at the motherfucking firefly and said, how do they, you know, one of them birds, the mockingbirds and shit that they fly in place. And you know, that's it. You know, we make these pills, you know, Tylenol, Oxycontin, Percocets. That is nothing but a carbon copy of certain plants and the effects of certain vegetation that we have grown in the rainforest. This shit is there. A hummingbird. You understand what? Everything that we have. I'm talking even this computer, right? Look at a octopus. Look at the technology of an octopus or a cuttlefish. I'm gonna tell you something. I saw this shit when I was young. A cuttlefish. That shit is one of the scariest animals I ever seen. When y'all get a chance, Google cuttlefish and go on YouTube and YouTube a cuttlefish and look at what that shit can do. And I remember when I was like younger, when I first seen one on National, I used to watch a lot of National Geographics when I was a kid. You know, when I was like a teenager, you know, you'd be out in the hood and, you know, in the ghetto and you hear gunshots, but behind closed doors, I would watch like a lot of National Geographics and shit. And I remember the first time I seen a cuttlefish. And I remember saying to myself, if you ever seen a cuttlefish the size of maybe like a car or something like that, these shit, the technology, you know, the way they change colors and change, man, these motherfuckers, man, I'm telling you, bruh. All I'm saying is, before sin entered, before any of that entered man, right? We have everything we need on God's green earth to take us to the next level with no sin, with no death, with none of that. You know what I'm saying? It's literally still here, but sin has entered. You know, the serpent has entered. So now we can't even tap into what this is. We are even exposed to on planet Earth. We can't even really tap into it without it being something negative, without it turning in, you know, we can't even get gunpowder without this shit turning into a goddamn, you know, a gun. We can't even get, you know, nuclear, you know, radiate, whatever, right? We can't get that shit and then it not turn into a nuclear bomb, some shit that's going to destroy the earth. But it's all here. It's all here. And that's what heaven on earth is. Heaven is, I'll say this, one of the heaven, it's heaven right here on earth, bro. It's just that we can't see it because it's sin involved. We done figured out all kind of foul thoughts, all kind of sin, you know. In the book of Noah, right? In the scripture, in that book, right? It's a part in there where Noah is speaking to God, right? And God says unto Noah, like, yo, you know, you are the only righteous man that's alive. Everybody else is vile and wicked and constantly thinks of sin. And they use the word constantly. Constantly thinks of sin. And you are the only one that is righteous. So therefore, that's why he gave Moses the word and the directions to build the ark and what to do with certain animals, X, Y, and Z. But it always stuck out to me when he said continuously, I think that was the word, continuously thinks of sin. And that's why it's good to like take time and like read the scripture on your own timing. You ain't got to read the whole book, but sometimes some people just wake up whenever. Me personally, I ain't perfect, so like I get in a mood and I get in a groove where I want to get. But that word continuously always stuck with me because that's what we living in. We living in a time where it don't matter what happens or what goes down. It's people that's continuously and just that's all that's circling their mind is sin, wickedness, and violence and shit like that. We can't even goddamn go into the rainforest and find medicine because that's gonna stop the money, and money is the root of all evil. We can't even cure cancer for real. We can't even go to the next level. We can't even make this place the heaven on earth that it's supposed to be because a motherfucker always thinking about sin, greed, jealousy, envy, all this shit. It's continuous. It's a continuous thing. That's why it's a wicked time we living in. But that's one of the things that stuck out to me. You know what I'm saying? You want to try to be as righteous as possible in these times. You know what I'm saying? And nobody's perfect. I ain't saying nobody's perfect, but I'm just saying like I could get up here and I could just, you know, I could get up on this platform and I could just preach wickedness. Man, I could just mislead motherfuckers that's willing to listen. You know what I'm saying? I could really do that. But you got to have a certain level of righteousness. You got to, and it's going, and the closer we get to 2030, the more intense it's going to get. The more intense it's going to get. Big salute to the chat. Yeah, it's levels to this. You know, you got the world leaders and you got the Zionists. Man, this shit, man, these motherfuckers, they all puppets. Habibi, he a puppet. Yeah. Trump, all these motherfuckers is puppets. We talk about the select, all this shit. You know, on the highest level, you can't even see that one. Bow, B-A-A-L. You can't even see him. On the highest level, the motherfucker that really pulling the strings, the motherfucking real puppet masters, a motherfucker you can't even see. It's a spiritual war going on. So why you thinking this, you know, you getting water and you building doomsday bunkers and you doing all of that? Like I keep telling y'all, every stone will be overturned. Every stone. Because the motherfucker at the top of this shit is a spiritual war. It's a spiritual war, my G. And that's, again, that receipt resonated with me. It really, because look. They all got, look, he the puppet master. See how he pulling the motherfucking strings? They got strings too, though, so they be looking like the puppet master. They got strings too, so they be looking like the puppet master. The world leaders, they got strings on the actors and the celebrities. Look, they got strings down here. They looking like the puppet master. And then you got the puppets. And then you got us. Television. So at the top of this, it's the spiritual warfare. It's no higher realm than that. And again, I began to ask myself, like, because I told myself when I started this channel, it's called Grown Man Business TV for a reason. The TV is because it's gonna be entertaining, we gonna laugh, we gonna joke, but it's Grown Man Business. And I made sure that I'm not going to be the one to tell you how to be a grown man, because a grown man is different variables when it comes to what a grown man is to different people. So I didn't want to be the one. And a lot of people in the beginning, they thought that's what I was going to do. So they would say things in the comment like, this is not what grown men talk about. This is not, well, whatever, nigga. Whatever a grown man is to you, that's on you. But I didn't want to be the one to tell you what a grown man is. I'm just telling you that this is grown man business. And I also appreciate that 20-piece nugget. You highly appreciate that. Big salute to the chat. But I also didn't want to get up here and tell you who to worship or who to pray to, or, because in my mind, I was still kind of searching. I was more still searching for certain answers. That's why me and Zip had a conversation, because, I'm still searching for certain answers. And, the spiritual warfare is going to lead you to certain religions and certain gangs. It's going to lead you off your path. It's going to box you in. It's going to make you be a Muslim. So you got to do what the Muslims do. It's going to make you be a Christian. So you got to do what the Christians do. You understand? And again, I told I'm not the one I'm not the one to tell you what a man is and who you should pray to. And at this level where we at, I understand, not just now, but I've been come to the conclusion that, I'm a spiritual being, and this is a spiritual war. You think Bao is a fucking Muslim or Christian? You think he don't know what that is? You don't think that those are tools, those are weapons that have been weaponized against you? When you call out one of those names, when you claim one of those sets, at the top of this, it's a spiritual war. So you need to load up with spiritual ammunition. And I'm gonna leave you with that. You know what I'm saying? Me, I like to cross-reference the Egyptian Bible, the Ethiopian Bible with the King James, and I like to get mine from there. I'm not here to tell you how to get yours. I'm just telling you to go get it. Same way, salute to my subscribers. Same way y'all told me about that beetroot. Yeah, that superfood. That shit is powerful. Let me tell you something about that beet. Let me tell you what I did today. I went to the store. I got some organic lemon juice, and I got ginger. Now, I want y'all to understand something. That lemon juice. That lemon juice got to be organic. The ingredients got to say lemon juice. That's it. Yeah, the ingredients need to say lemon juice. No concentration, none of that. Oh, and I mixed up that I mixed up that beetroot. I put 2 teaspoons of that organic lemon juice, 1 teaspoon of that motherfucking raw ginger. Woo! Yeah, we on to something,